Time for our visit with Dr. Kevin Kavanagh, retired physician, also the founder and president of Health Watch USA. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, Jack.
Let's start at home here as far as where we stand in Kentucky this morning.
Well, as of yesterday, things are not going real well. Our cases are spiking. And those of you who use the false narrative that this is just testing need to realize we have over 800 people in the hospital. Our deaths are also going up. We have an average of 13.6 deaths per day. That's a 7-day average. And so we are headed in the wrong direction. And that case line is just vertical in Kentucky right now. So it is imperative that people follow public health advice. We need to stop the spread of this virus.
And we also learned over the weekend at least 5 close aides to the vice president have tested positive, and based on CDC guidelines, he should be quarantining unless he has had COVID before and didn't tell anyone, but he is out campaigning.
Correct, and that's upsetting. And I know people will say, oh, but what about the protests? Well, it doesn't matter. It's like your kids. If the neighbor kid plays in the street, it doesn't mean that your kid can play in the street either. The vice president should be messaging and acting accordingly to public health advice, wearing a mask and not spreading the virus. And remember, this virus is of concern not only because of the deaths that it caused, but the more and more we learn about this, we are seeing more and more long-lasting problems that patients are developing once they get sick with COVID. And this includes the very young. So this is a deadly virus, and we do not want to swamp our healthcare systems, nor do we want to get chronically disabled. And if our hospitals fill, for example, what is currently now happening in El Paso, we can expect to see the death rates go up because people will not be able to obtain the supportive medical care that they should be getting. And so this is a huge problem right now.
Dr. Fauci said America should be considering a nationwide mask mandate to combat the surge in COVID cases, and candidate Joe Biden said he'd make wearing a mask mandatory in all federal buildings and on the interstate highway system. I'm not sure how you enforce that, but do you think the mask wearing should be mandated?
Well, I certainly think that everybody should be wearing masks. And whatever it takes to get people to do that, I think that we need to. Because it's not just mandating wearing a mask, but you need to wear a well-fitted mask, a well-constructed mask. Get rid of these neck things that you keep pulling up and down all the time. That's not going to give you any sort of good protection, and it's not going to be as good for others. As you know, the main reason to wear a mask is that if you are an asymptomatic carrier and don't know it, it will prevent the spread to others. But the big benefit to the person is it will cut down on the viral load if you get exposed to that virus, and that will possibly make the infection less severe. And so that's very important. As we've stated before, to be completely safe, you've got to wear goggles, a hazmat suit, a mask, and know how to take this on and off. So if you do wear a mask, you still should social distance to protect yourself. The main reason to wear the mask is to help protect others.
Thank you, Dr. Kevin Kavanagh.
Thank you, sir.